Jonathan Gannon, though, we had him today on the problems that the Dallas QB presents. It's the Bird's Eye View presented by Ocean Casino and Resort in Atlantic City.
I mean, I think he's playing very efficient right now. He knows where to go with the ball. He's accurate. He's running the offense. They put a lot on the quarterback's plate to get him in ideal calls, and he's doing that. And they're talented around him, you know. So he's playing really good football right now, and they got good players around him. So I think he's very efficient right now on first and second down and third down, situational ball, red zone. They're playing well. We got a big time challenge.
Yes, they do. That brings us to Barrett's 3-point stance presented by your Mercedes. Barrett's first stance. I'm more worried about Cooper Rush than I would be for Dak Prescott. Explain, Barrett.
You know, it's not about who Dak Prescott is, because he's going to start if he can play, but that's the thing, can he play? If he does play, I really want him to play, because there's no chemistry right now with him and his guys. You know, they haven't played with him for a long time. They do have chemistry with Cooper Rush. They've done a lot. Now, not to say that I'm scared of Cooper Rush. He is managing the game. That's all he's doing. You look at those numbers, 839 yards. He's not blowing you away, 61% completion. He's got 4 touchdowns. And the big thing is no interceptions. He maintains the game. He is a game manager. That's what he does best. Look at his QB rating, 93.9. Cooper Rush is a guy that you don't worry about him being a guy that's going to blow it up in the stats. He's not going to be throwing for, 400 and 500 yards or 300 yards in a game. But what he will do is keep you in the game, and that's what makes him well. The defense is playing good enough that they don't ask him to do a lot. I was looking at the last game he played in. He had a 62% completion rating. He threw for 102 yards.
Yikes.
102 yards. You know, and I mean, come on now, but no interceptions. But he didn't throw for a touchdown either. See, that's the problem right there. He is an average quarterback that's playing above average with a team that's helping him play that way. They don't run the ball necessarily well. Both backs, Ezekiel Elliott and the other back, those guys combined for about 120 yards a game.
Yeah, Tony Pollard.
Not equal, yeah. Game. Tony Pollard, I mean, he's their big game back. He's the guy that's going to go out there and give you the long yardage. Yep. But it's a controversy for us how much money he makes. So they're not going to play. I'd much rather them play Zeke. Now, Zeke is great because he's always falling forward, but he's only averaging like 3 or 4 yards a carry. Tony Pollard, he's averaging about 5 or 6 yards a carry, but he only gets a limited amount of snaps. Let's keep it to a limited amount of snaps. If anything, I want Cooper Rush to beat us as opposed to, them going out and running the ball against us.
Yeah, that ground game.
But I can't see it, though. No. I hope Dak does play. And I heard Mr. Jerry Jones,
this is good,
Jerry said that the only way he plays is if he's able to spin a football. If he can spin a football like that, he'll play. And the reason why, if you spin a football, if you do that with your hands, look how much action you have in your thumb. If he can do that, then he'll start him. But I don't think he can do that. I would love him to play. Yeah. Can you imagine him going out there and he's going like this, and as he's throwing, he gets hit by Hassan Reddick in his thumb, and he hurts it again, and now they're all discombobulated. Cooper Rush has to come back in to try to save the team. That's what I want him to do. And he'll tell him, no, get out, I'm cool. And he throws another errant pass. And I mean, it's just better if we get Dak Prescott as opposed to Cooper Rush, because he has the chemistry, number one. He's healthier than Dak Prescott, number 2.
Everybody at home just did that same move.
Yeah, no.
Exactly how much
spin a football. That's what Jerry told me. Jerry Jones. He said Jerry.
All right, second stance from Barrett. Jalen Hurts' most underrated skill is actually ball security.
Absolutely. He maintains the game. He doesn't have a lot of turnover. He has 2 interceptions. One of them wasn't his own doing. It should have been a caught ball. But look at that. 2 interceptions, no fumbles for loss. Has over 1,300 yards passing the ball. His QB rating is 97.4. Rushing yardage, 266. Total touchdown, 10. 6 rushing and 4 passing. I mean, you say what you want to say. I don't care, just as long as it gets done. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And I love the fact that Jalen Hurts understands that. He's a good player. And we need to, take advantage of his skill sets. And one of his biggest skill sets is how he maintains the team. He keeps the team calm. He keeps the team from going out there and being too overwhelmed or underwhelmed. If they're not up to where they're supposed to be at, he'll take them to that level. If they're too high, he'll bring them back down. His consistency of being the guy that's leading this team is why they're so successful. They're never too high, never too low. After the game when he spoke, it wasn't about them winning the game. He wasn't happy about winning the game. What he was happy that, yeah, they did win it, but they have a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot. He understands they left a lot of meat on the bone out there on the football field, so they need to do better, and he's going to make sure they get better.
All right, the final stance from one Barrett Brooks. Ron Rivera's had enough of Carson Wentz already. You guys, if you haven't heard, you got to listen to this. This is the Commanders' head coach yesterday when he was asked why the rest of the NFC East is really lapping them.
Why do you think the teams in the division are farther ahead at this point?
Quarterback. And the truth is that this is a quarterback-driven league. And if you look at the teams that have been able to sustain success, they've been able to build it around a specific quarterback.
Chose the quarterback here, though, so do you have any regrets about that, or how do you?
No, I got no regrets about their quarterback. I think our quarterback has done some good things. There's been a couple of games that he struggled.
I mean,
I love it.
That's a ringing endorsement if I've ever heard one. I know Rivera's a defensive coach, but my goodness, his he just drove that bus right. Sorry about that.
And then they try to bring it back a little bit.
And he couldn't even save it. He's like,
he's like, no, I'm gonna back it up.
Yep, beep, beep, beep. Ran right over him again.
He would be right. But
he's not wrong. But
there's a 4-1 team that is a terrible quarterback up North Jersey, and they have a terrible quarterback down in Dallas. Well, not terrible, but a backup quarterback down in Dallas. So how is it the division? Jalen Hurts is the only dime that he's talking about. He's the only one that's really, going out there and competing at a high level. He's the reason why the Eagles are good. But Cooper Rush, he's maintained the level that the defense has put the team where it is. Their defense is helping them. If you look at the Giants, hey, that coach has put them in a great position.
Exactly.
Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback, but he's been enough because he has a star running back to move that offense. The defense and the way they're blitzing, that's why that team is good too. So if you could say defenses, even our defense, that's what's leading this division. The tough defense is more so than the quarterback, with the exception of the Eagles. A backup quarterback and Daniel Jones is not what you call a quarterback-driven league.
Well,
but it is, though. We understand it is, though.
It is. Comparatively, apparently, though, Carson Wentz is below all of those guys.
He's doing Carson Wentz things.
What about a head coach, your head coach, saying that about your quarterback?
Well, I mean, it's, you know what? If he walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, swims in a pool like a duck, it must be a duck. Carson Wentz, the only person that doesn't know that he's a duck. He is not going out there and taking accountability for what's going on the field. If you look at his numbers, Carson Wentz looks like he's the man. If you're a GM, without looking at tape, we want this guy on our team. Until you see him, and when he makes the mistakes, they're at a costly time. They could have won that game if he would have took care of it. But he's thinking, I just tried to win the game for us. Instead of him saying, man, if I hadn't thrown that pass, we'd have probably won that game.
Yeah. Listen, there was like 3 straight interceptions happening before the real one actually did happen.
Right.
Every pass, you're like, what are you doing?
Right.
It's weird because it happened here and then Indianapolis and here.
Yeah, we need to be better as an offense.
Yeah.
But not, I need to be better as a quarterback.